Hello beloved souls, thank you for tuning into the Spiritual Podcasts channel. This channel is all about good vibes, positive energy, and meaningful conversations. To keep this space welcoming for everyone, we kindly ask that comments stay respectful, kind, and in the spirit of the content shared here. We reserve the right to delete any comments that don't align with this intention. No hard feelings, just protecting the vibe. Thanks for being here and spreading the light. Please be cautious of anyone claiming to represent Spiritual Podcast and asking you for money, donations, or personal information. We will never ask you for money through comments, messages, or DMs. All official updates and content come only from this channel. If you see suspicious activity, please report it immediately. Stay safe and thank you for being part of our community. If you enjoy the video and its content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. Please be kind to other viewers of the channel. The video is about to start.
Welcome, deeply curious minds to the deep dive. Today, we're not just dipping our toes, we're plunging into a truly extraordinary realm, one that dares us to rethink, everything we thought we knew about our planet, our history, and even our own genetic code. What if the story of Earth and humanity is far more complex, more ancient, and frankly, more utterly mind-bending than any textbook has ever dared to suggest? What if there's a hidden narrative? A cosmic blueprint woven into our very being, just waiting to be rediscovered. That's our profound mission today. We're embarking on a deep dive into a set of truly powerful sources, specifically drawing from Mensageiros do Amanhecer, that's Messengers of the Dawn, a groundbreaking book that channels wisdom from beings known as the Pleiadians. Our aim is to navigate these radical, sometimes challenging, yet incredibly insightful perspectives, revealing a cosmic narrative that directly impacts you, the listener, right now. It's an exploration of deep-time genetic legacy and, your undeniable role in the planetary awakening that's already underway.
And you won't be navigating these intricate pathways alone. We'll be your guides, helping you make sense of this unique blend of personal experience and channeled information. This isn't just about summarizing these radical ideas. It's about providing a clear, actionable framework to understand what these concepts truly mean for your individual journey and for the evolution of our planet. Expect those genuine aha moments, those little jolts of recognition that will undeniably challenge your assumptions and dramatically broaden your definition of what's possible. Our goal is to equip you with tools for self-discovery, helping you connect the dots within this grand tapestry without ever feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information.
Okay, let's unpack this fascinating genesis, because the story behind the book itself is just as profound as its content. Our journey begins in 1988, not in some cosmic realm, but in a very human, personal space. The meeting of Barbara Marciniak, the channel for the Pleiadians, and Tara Thomas, a busy magazine editor who would eventually become the editor and co-creator of this book. Now, Tara initially approached this project with a very practical, logical mindset, didn't she? She imagined it would be a relatively straightforward task. The Pleiadians would simply dictate their wisdom, she'd transcribe and edit it, and voila! A quick, easy project to fit into her already packed schedule. She probably thought, this will be a breeze. But as the sources reveal, the Pleiadians had a vastly different plan.
They absolutely did, and this is where the deeper wisdom of their approach truly shines through. What's utterly fascinating is the Pleiadians' immediate pushback against Tara's logical, almost transactional assumption. They told her quite directly, if this book were simply given to you, you would only be a servant. What effort would be on your part? This wasn't about simply delivering information, it was, first and foremost, about an initiation for Tara herself. They declared that the book would be the birth of something for you, the birth of an inner process, a whole new way of using creativity. They made it unequivocally clear this project was not in any way a logical reasoning project, but rather a profound exercise in intuition, surrender, and trust, specifically designed to awaken something deep within her, just as much as it was to create a text for the world. The process of creating the book, in their view, was the most important teaching.
And what an initiation it turned out to be. Tara vividly describes this period as her being a mess. She was grappling with profound self-doubt, lacking self-love, and feeling completely disconnected from her true self. To make matters worse, deeply buried childhood memories and traumas began resurfacing, making her feel incredibly vulnerable. She was barely managing her own magazine, let alone undertaking a book of such magnitude. This wasn't just a typical writer's block, it sounds like a soul-level crisis, intricately intertwined with the very fabric of the creative process. It was far from a smooth ride, I imagine.
Indeed, the sources paint a very clear picture of her struggles, which, as the Pleiadians had explicitly forewarned, were an essential part of her initiation. They stated she would be tested, and that people needed to clean their personal information to become cosmic. Her pivotal trip to Egypt in October 1988, which she hoped would elevate her, actually opened her circuits in unexpected and initially quite challenging ways. It awakened dark, scary areas within her, bringing to the surface everything she needed to confront. She returned to New York feeling even more incapable of starting the book. It wasn't until she retreated to a spacious house in North Carolina, dedicating herself solely to healing through nature, that she began to understand the true depth of her personal work. She realized in 1990 that she had not yet purified herself enough to hold the frequency of the complex, high-vibrational materials she was meant to transmit. This period of intense personal clearing was directly proportional to her ability to act as a clear, unencumbered channel for this new information. It was like tuning a radio to a specific frequency, but the static of her own unresolved issues was interfering.
That's a powerful analogy. So she's in North Carolina, surrounded by these hundreds of pages of channeled material, feeling completely overwhelmed and frustrated. What was the turning point? How did she finally move beyond that internal static?
The turning point, as Tara recounts, is truly a remarkable moment that epitomizes the Pleiadian message. Frustrated and surrounded by hundreds of scattered pages, she finally surrendered completely. She exclaimed to the Pleiadians, "I give up. You do it." And then something quite astonishing happened. She began picking up pages at random, one from her right, one from her left, one from behind, with no rhythm, no reason, no logical order whatsoever. Yet when she stopped, she found she held a coherent first chapter that fit together like a puzzle. She was, by her own admission, shocked. It was a powerful, undeniable demonstration of an unseen, intuitive intelligence guiding the process, completely bypassing her logical mind.
That's absolutely incredible. It sounds like a perfect illustration of trusting a higher order. So what did the Pleiadians have to say about this particular breakthrough?
This moment perfectly illustrates a core Pleiadian teaching on creation. They had told her, it comes through clear intention, through acting as if it already is, and then simply continuously receiving. Once Tara surrendered her logical mind, let go of the how, and simply trusted the process, the rest of the book came together effortlessly, just as they had promised. They even made a prediction that she'd find an editor without lifting a finger, and this too came true, with Barbara Handclough providing excellent guidance. She helped transform what could have been just another channeled work into something truly wonderful, a testament to the power of intuitive collaboration over forced logical construction. It wasn't about her doing it, but allowing it to flow through her, becoming a vessel rather than, a striving creator.
Beyond the creation of the book, Tara's personal transformation sounds equally profound. She states that she learned to collaborate with non-physical entities, even vowing never to work alone again. But the most significant gift, she declared, was that I got myself. What did that self-discovery entail, and what were its lasting impacts on her life?
That phrase, "I got myself," speaks volumes. This newfound self-love, trust, and acceptance allowed her to align with her authentic self. The ripple effects were remarkable. She began attracting wonderful, supportive friends into her life. And in one of the most poignant outcomes, she remarkably reconnected with a daughter she had given up for adoption 24 years prior. It was a complete circle of healing, integration, and unconditional love manifesting in her external reality. She even woke up one morning and realized with absolute certainty, "I am a writer." What a profound shift from the mess she described herself as at the beginning of the process.
So this entire experience became a living testament to the very wisdom the book contained.
Precisely. Tara's story is a powerful, living demonstration of the Pleiadian principles. She herself stated that the book writing process was the most important teaching of my life. It opened entirely new avenues of communication for her, even leading her to communicate with animals, showing how aligning with a higher intuitive process can lead to profound personal evolution. This isn't just about external achievements like writing a book. It's about the deepest aspects of self-identity, healing, and fostering extraordinary interpersonal and, interspecies connections. Her journey wasn't just about creating a book. It was about creating a new, expanded version of herself, one that embodied the very wisdom the book contained. It perfectly sets the stage for the cosmic narrative they then shared.
Tara's personal odyssey is a powerful entry point, but it now begs the question, who are these Pleiadians who guided her through such a profound, personal, and creative journey? The sources introduce them not as a singular monolithic entity, but as a diverse collective. They initially presented as a group of 50 to 75 beings, some physical, others non-physical, all originating from the Pleiades constellation, specifically pinpointed at 28 degrees Taurus. But we learn their numbers have grown, and they now refer to themselves as Pleiadians Plus, encompassing over 100 entities from various star systems. They identify themselves as teachers and friends, but also, very significantly, as catalysts for change.
What's particularly fascinating here is their unique and very candid approach to conveying information. They readily admit to being good storytellers, using elements of credibility and sensationalism to engage human consciousness. However, and this is a crucial point, they consistently caution us, never take what we say literally. Their information, they explain, constantly evolves with human understanding, mirroring our own growth and capacity for reception. Their core purpose isn't to indoctrinate or establish a new dogma, but to help you remember who you are, to open your paradigms, your cages, and awaken the true knowledge that is archived within you. And here's where it gets truly mind-bending. They also reveal a startling fact. They are renegades themselves, from our future, working to transform their own system by helping Earth in this critical moment, creating a fascinating sort of nonlinear feedback loop across time.
Wait, renegades from our future, how does that work? Are they suggesting literal time travel in a conventional sense? Or is it more of a metaphorical presence from a future timeline trying to influence our present? Because that really challenges our linear understanding of existence.
That's a crucial distinction, and the Pleiadians hint at both a literal and metaphorical interpretation, suggesting a non-linear understanding of time. They imply that by helping Earth now, they're directly impacting their past, which is our future. It's not just about a linear progression, but a kind of cosmic feedback loop or a self-correction mechanism across timelines. They're working to transform their own system by helping ours, suggesting that our collective evolution is far more interconnected across dimensions and temporal realities than we typically imagine. Their presence here is a strategic intervention, born from a future understanding of how critical Earth's current evolutionary leap is for universal consciousness.
That reframes everything. Now, let's zoom out from the Pleiadians themselves to their narrative about Earth. Imagine Earth, not as a random speck in space, but as part of an incredible plan formulated eons ago by what they call great beings. This wasn't some accidental rock floating around. It was envisioned as a magnificent intergalactic information exchange center and a veritable cosmic library. That's a breathtaking image. How exactly would a planet store and exchange information on such a grand scale beyond our human understanding of libraries with books?
It truly is. The original planners, as the Pleiadians call them, were members of the family of light, associated with light, which is defined simply as information. The Earth was meticulously designed as a place of incredible beauty and biodiversity, where every galaxy would contribute its unique data, archiving information not through paper and ink, but through frequencies, unique genetic processes, and the very composition of its ecosystems, its minerals, its water. Every living thing, every geological formation, was intended to be a living data point, holding a specific frequency and information. Its strategic location, near root portals, essentially cosmic highways or energetic thoroughfares, made it easily accessible for intergalactic exchange. So imagine a living, breathing, organic supercomputer, a universal archive where all cosmic wisdom was to be encoded and freely available.
But then the story takes a dramatic turn. There were skirmishes in space, and a certain group of entities fought and won the territory of Earth. These new owners, as the Pleiadians describe them, had a very clear and rather sinister agenda for humanity. It sounds like a cosmic hostile takeover, and it completely altered this grand design.
It was precisely that. And here we must pause to state clearly that we were relaying the Pleiadian narrative as it is presented in the source material. We're not endorsing these claims as objective fact, but rather exploring them within the framework of this channeled information. The Pleiadians describe these new owners as having a strategy to keep the native species, meaning us, humans, uninformed, making us easier to control. This is where the Pleiadian axiom, light is information, ignorance is darkness, becomes absolutely crucial. These new creator gods were described as master geneticists, who understood not just how to create life, but how to manipulate it. And here's where it gets really chilling. They discovered that consciousness itself could be influenced to vibrate in a certain way to create a food source. Their preferred nutrition was chaos and fear. This understanding led to a drastic genetic alteration. Human DNA, originally designed with 12 helices, a vast, intricate, multidimensional library of information, was remade to contain only a double helix. Everything not necessary for survival, or for keeping humans informed and empowered, was switched off, effectively imprisoning humanity within controllable, operable frequencies. It was, as the Pleiadians put it, like someone had hidden the reference system of the library and thrown all the books on the floor, making it impossible for humans to access their full potential or their true history.
And who are some of these new owners that the Pleiadians identify? They're referred to quite vividly in the sources as black shirts or Lizzies, described as part human, part reptile.
Again, understanding that this is the Pleiadian perspective from the source material, they clarify that these beings are not evil in a simplistic, moralistic sense, but rather misinformed and operating from a place of limited consciousness and fear. They operate out of a desperate clinging to what knowledge and power they possess, creating systems based on fear and a profound disrespect for other life. The Pleiadians even suggest that these beings forgot their own creators, indicating a severe disconnection from their own origin and purpose. This understanding encourages us not to demonize them, but to comprehend the patterns of control that arise from ignorance and fear, which they then project onto others as a means of survival and perceived power, creating a self-perpetuating cycle.
So we've covered the personal journey of creating the book and this incredible radical history of Earth. Now here's where it truly gets personal for you, the listener. The sources explicitly state the simple fact that you are engaging with this deep dive, that this information resonates with you, means you are part of the family of light. Your presence on Earth at this critical time, they insist, is not accidental. You have a mission, a vital role to play in this unfolding cosmic drama.
This mission, as articulated by the Pleiadians, is multifaceted and profoundly significant. You are here to activate the archives of your memory, to create your own reality consciously, to alter the frequency of the planet, and fundamentally to reclaim ownership over yourselves in this territory. They go as far as describing you as system demolishers, renegades who have come disguised as humans to infiltrate the project of control and bring information light back to a planet that has largely forgotten it. Your task isn't to proselytize or convert others, but to be a receptacle for creative cosmic rays, simply by embodying and radiating a new frequency. This radiant presence will, in turn, affect everyone and everywhere you go, simply through your being and your vibrational output. It's a silent, powerful form of planetary activism, a ripple effect of conscious awareness.
And central to this awakening, they say, is a literal physical mutation happening within the human body, the evolution of our DNA from that limited double helix to a full 12 helices. These helices, as the Pleiadians explain, correspond to 12 energy centers or chakras, 7 located within the body and 5 external to it. This sounds like a complete rewiring, a cosmic upgrade to our energetic and biological system.
It absolutely is. And understanding this expanded chakra system is paramount to grasping the scope of this transformation. The first 3 chakras within the body are foundational, related to basic survival, sexuality, and sensory perception of the physical world. The 4th, at the heart, is the crucial center of compassion, love, and connection to all things. Moving upwards, the 5th chakra, at the throat, governs clear speech, self-expression, and communication. The 6th, often called the third eye, is for higher vision, intuition, and inner knowing. While the 7th, the crown chakra, connects you to a broader identity beyond the physical form, to universal consciousness. But what's truly astounding and often overlooked are the 5 external chakras. These connect you to the solar system, the galaxy, the universe, and even beyond. Their activation, the Pleiadian state, will bring an astounding and shocking influx of information to the planet, literally changing how we perceive and interact with reality on a profound scale. This regrouping of your DNA and light-encoded filaments, which are essentially energetic strands of information that were deactivated, will allow you to become conscious creators and conscious rememberers of who you are, activating vast latent abilities and archived knowledge.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, these light-encoded filaments aren't just chemical structures like our familiar DNA, they're like energetic data streams that are being reconnected.
Exactly. Imagine our standard double helix DNA as the physical hardware, the basic operating system. These light-encoded filaments are like the energetic, multidimensional data streams or software upgrades that should be active around and within that hardware. They're not just chemical structures, they're literal strands of light of information that were essentially switched off during that genetic alteration we talked about. Their regrouping is like reconnecting a vast dormant spiritual internet to our physical hardware, allowing us to access layers of information and abilities far beyond our current sensory perception. It's about reactivating our full energetic and informational potential.
But this profound shift, this massive upgrade to our human system, sounds like it will be anything but serene. The Pleiadians foresee a period of intense upheaval, predicting a fusion of identities, a fusion of cultures, an incidence of various new world orders, and there will be much chaos and confusion. How are we to navigate such intense transformation?
This is a critical point, and the Pleiadians offer a profound reframe for how we understand and engage with chaos. They state that chaos brings a state of reorganization when utilized properly. The Earth, in this context, is described as a hotspot for universal evolution, a pivotal point where these changes are magnified for the entire cosmos. A critical aspect of this transformation is the removal of the fear-based food source that sustains the current owners. And here it's imperative that we clarify that we are strictly relaying the Pleiadian perspective from the source material and not endorsing these specific claims as factual. They state that these beings, including the Lizzies, will actively try to re-establish the frequency of fear through various means. The sources explicitly mention devices that diffuse and amplify emotional imbalance in regions like the Middle East, urban violence in large cities such as Los Angeles and New York, and even new diseases like AIDS and herpes, as publicity campaigns designed to instill and amplify fear. Again, these are radical interpretations from the channeled material, and we want to be absolutely clear that we are simply conveying their viewpoint here for your consideration. Their message to the listener, however, is a universal and empowering one. Your role is to conquer your own fears, and by doing so, show the rest of the planet there is no reason to fear anything. This effectively cuts off the supply of that negative energetic food source, thereby dismantling the control system from within.
So by mastering our own internal landscape, we're actually participating in a much larger cosmic liberation. As we evolve, humanity is described as being on the verge of becoming multidimensional beings. This means consciously existing in various realities simultaneously, capable of jumping from station to station, and understanding that our being extends far beyond our current physical form. What does this heightened perception truly entail?
This involves the opening of what the Pleiadians call the eyes of Horus. These eyes, they explain, see through the eyes of the human but from the perspective of a god, allowing you to perceive personal, planetary, galactic, and even universal history, unifying diverse realities into a cohesive global picture. It's an adventure that entails a merging of selves, confronting and integrating aspects of your being that exist across different dimensions and even across different species. This could involve, for instance, accessing reptilian memories within your own genetic code and coming to a profound understanding that the things that scare you are you. It's about recognizing these fragmented aspects as parts of a greater whole. It's a process of integrating all the issues or selves that will be converging on this planet, creating a complete, unified, and vastly expanded being. This isn't just about intellectual understanding. It's about a felt, experienced reality of unity. #TAG4, empowering tools for the evolving human.
So how do we practically navigate these profound shifts and embrace our evolving multidimensional potential? The Pleiadians offer powerful, actionable tools. They call one of them the greatest secret withheld from the human species. Thought creates experience. Thought creates reality. They state emphatically, if you don't learn anything else from their teachings, learn this.
This isn't just a philosophical concept. It's presented as a practical daily discipline, a fundamental law of conscious creation. They recommend that you wake up every morning, clearly mentalize what you intend to live that day. The emphasis is on clear intention, using definitive phrases like, "it is my intention to," rather than tentative ones like "I hope to" or "I wish." They offer a wonderful restaurant analogy. Imagine ordering exactly what you want from life with divine nonchalance, trusting it will be delivered, without examining every dish and judging if you deserve it. This means diligently eliminating words like should and trying from your vocabulary, as these imply operating under someone else's sovereignty or, struggling against a predetermined fate. Instead, you're encouraged to authorize yourself, to claim your inherent power as a conscious creator of your reality, trusting that the universe will respond to your clear intention.
That restaurant analogy really resonates with me. I've definitely been that person examining every dish and judging if I deserve it in my own life, second-guessing my own desires. It highlights how deeply ingrained those patterns of self-doubt can be.
It truly does, and that's precisely why the Pleiadians emphasize this. It's about cultivating an inner certainty and self-worth that naturally allows for manifestation, rather than operating from a place of fear or scarcity. They're asking us to literally rewrite our internal dialogue.
Another incredibly powerful and often profoundly misunderstood tool for higher consciousness that the Pleiadians discuss is your sexuality. Despite centuries of societal suppression, shame, and negative connotations, your sexuality was intentionally left intact in the physical body after the DNA rearrangements because it contains a powerful sequence that can be reached.
Its original purpose, they reveal, was the cosmic orgasm, not just a physical climax, but a direct energetic link to your divine source and information, a portal to higher consciousness. They explain that society's pervasive narrative about sexuality being bad, sinful, or repulsive was, in fact, a carefully orchestrated promotional campaign designed to keep you controlled and disempowered, preventing you from discovering the immense freedom and power available through sexuality. Here again, the Pleiadians make some very strong claims, and it's vital for us to reiterate that we are presenting this information as it appears in the channeled material, not as an endorsement of its factual accuracy. They even identify new diseases like AIDS and herpes as current publicity campaigns, according to their perspective, designed to instill fear around this vital energy, thereby hindering humanity's reawakening. Again, this is the specific viewpoint from the source material, and we present it as such. They emphasize that conscious sexual union, particularly in honest, respectful relationships, and they suggest monogamous for our current vibratory level, as it allows for deeper energy blending, can be a rocket-like experience for ascending to extraplanetary frequencies and creating new consciousness. They also address specific challenges. The knot in the throat for women, which represents suppressed intuition, creative power, and a blockage of truth, and the challenge for men to integrate feeling and emotional presence into their sexuality, moving beyond purely physical stimulation. Ultimately, it's about two human beings giving each other pleasure, and with that opening new frequencies of consciousness, irrespective of homo or heterosexual relationships, as long as there is conscious intention and respect.
Moving on, human emotions, often seen as chaotic, inconvenient, or something to be controlled, are described by the Pleiadians as something of enormous value to the evolution of the universe. They call them precious jewels, true treasures. What's their unique take on the function and power of our emotions?
What's truly fascinating here is their function. Emotions are described as passports to multidimensional realities. They are the raw energy that allows different frequencies to link, mix, merge, and perceive themselves, essentially bridging different dimensions of experience. The historical blockage and suppression of emotions, they assert, was a deliberate control mechanism, precisely because of their immense power. The Pleiadians strongly encourage you, the listener, to allow all your feelings to surface, and critically, instead of judging them, allow them to manifest to see where they can take you. They offer practical, discerning advice for navigating emotional intensity. They address the human tendency to get lost in the process of processing traumas, recommending that you tell your story, share your emotional experience 1, 2, or 3 times at most. And then, crucially, you must move on. This prevents you from endlessly replaying and recreating the same emotional loop, allowing the energy of the emotion to be released and transmuted, opening pathways to new insights and growth, rather than getting stuck in perpetual victimhood or anger.
That's a powerful point about not getting stuck in the story. Shifting gears slightly, let's talk about the language of light. This isn't spoken words as we understand them, but geometric forms contained within your light-encoded DNA filaments. These aren't just abstract symbols, are they? The Pleiadians describe them as collections of experiences from highly evolved individuals.
Precisely. And these geometric forms manifest in various ways, including what they call implants. These are sacred geometric forms like the pyramid, the sphere, the spiral parallel lines, and the Merkaba vehicle that serve to activate specific information within you and facilitate information transfer from higher hierarchies. The Merkaba vehicle, for instance, which is often described as a star tetrahedron or a spinning field of light, is particularly significant in their teachings. It represents the human being in its broadest state, totally free, capable of flying or traveling with the body without it leaving the planet. It's an energetic vehicle for interdimensional travel and manifestation. The Pleiadians suggest many people have already received these energetic implants, preparing them for higher levels of consciousness.
It brings to mind something we see appearing in our physical world that still largely remains inexplicable to conventional science: crop circles. These are intricate geometric forms appearing globally, often in agricultural fields overnight. How do the Pleiadians connect these to the language of light?
The Pleiadians explain that crop circles are not simply messages in the traditional sense. They are frequencies, melodies, or stories that are literally implanted on Earth's surface. They function as powerful triggers that force reality to go beyond its own limits, and crucially, make you feel instead of think. They're designed to bypass the logical, analytical mind and resonate directly with the subconscious and the emotional body, activating dormant information. They're particularly prevalent in logical-minded areas like England, serving as a gentle yet persistent challenge to the purely rational mind. These formations contribute significantly to activating Earth's frequency grid, gradually raising the planet's overall vibration and preparing humanity for these new energetic downloads. They're a playful, non-threatening way for these higher intelligences to interact with our reality and prepare us for monumental shifts in perception.
And what about sound? The Pleiadians introduce sound as another profound form of light that carries information. What kind of power does sound wield in this context?
Sound, they explain, has the incredible power to penetrate any substance, alter molecules, and rearrange realities. Ancient structures like pyramids and temples, along with sacred objects like crystal skulls, much like our own bones, contain stored information that can be unlocked and activated by specific frequencies of sound. The Ankh in ancient Egypt, for example, wasn't just a symbol, it was a frequency modulator, a tool used by ancient masters to direct and amplify sound with clear intention. They describe how cooperative sounds and symphonies of consciousness, when groups come together with clear collective intention, can create powerful energy columns, capable of creation or even destruction, referencing events like the legendary Walls of Jericho. They emphasize the critical importance of clear intention when working with sound, as it amplifies energy and can grow beyond its original capacity, making it an incredibly potent tool for conscious creation and transformation. #V. Societal shifts and the dawn of a new Earth.
Now, let's turn our gaze to the systems we live within. The sources present a stark critique of current societal structures, revealing them not as objective realities, but as simulations of reality under the guise of what you call religion, leadership, or even inspiration. It challenges us to look beyond the surface of what we're told is true.
And this is where the Pleiadians make some of their most direct and potentially controversial observations. Again, we must stress that we are relaying the information contained in the source material and not endorsing these claims as objective fact. They detail how systems like politics, particularly in the United States, which they describe as the most controlled experimental society on the planet, a tyranny without walls, are meticulously designed to separate you and prevent unity. This separation, they suggest, is achieved through various means, including taxes, education, and media, all diverting attention from underlying synchronicity, emotional meaning, and our true power. The owners of Earth, according to their narrative, have actively cultivated chaos and fear through intentional events, such as urban violence and even manipulating international conflicts, citing the Middle East crisis as an example used to justify gas tax increases. Again, these are radical interpretations presented within the channeled text, and we are simply conveying them for your consideration. The clear call to action here, however, is empowering. You are encouraged to question people who try to indoctrinate you with absolute truths, and to discern for yourself whether something is promoting light, information and unity, or darkness, control and separation.
That's a powerful call for personal discernment. This deep dive, they say, is for the chosen, those who hear an inner melody and gather to listen to this message. You are not just passive recipients. You are called to courage in this transformative time. What does that courage truly mean in action?
This courage means stepping out of what they call hidden lives, expressing your inner truths, and crucially, working in harmony with others. The Pleiadians highlight that the deliberate segregation prevalent in society, and even within aspects of the New Age movement, actively prevents people from discovering what they truly have in common and from uniting their energies. They predict a new pride, a new sense of integrity will emerge as individuals choose to step into their authentic power, shedding the fear of judgment. This will lead to the formation of community gatherings and the organic development of love-based technologies that emerge outside traditional markets and corporate structures. These are innovations rooted in cooperation, respect for all life, and designed to serve humanity rather than control it, moving away from profit motives towards collective well-being.
The Earth itself, a sentient being, is a key player in this cosmic drama, not just a stage for humanity. It's described as being at the edge of deceleration, preceding a mind-bending frenzy, undergoing a profound cleaning and realigning itself. So this isn't just about human evolution, but a deep planetary transformation too.
Absolutely. The Pleiadians present cataclysms, increased earthquakes, and even animals moving to a new world, not as random disasters, but as part of Earth's method of teaching humanity to take proper care of its home. Humanity's pervasive obsession with materialism, they argue, has dangerously disconnected us from the sentient being that generated us. The call is to respect it as a sacred place, to consciously communicate with the Earth, and to visualize yourself as a thread of light, carrying this evolving consciousness, actively participating in its healing. They even present the possibility of many people leaving the planet in a few hours, as a potential drastic consequence if humanity's values do not shift in alignment with Earth's needs. This scenario, they suggest, would serve to awaken those who remain to their vital responsibility to this living planet, shifting them out of complacency.
That's a sobering thought, but it underscores the urgency of our collective choices. Ultimately, the Pleiadians speak of the goal of this entire evolutionary process as the light body, a profound physical transformation that allows you to become a super being. What does that truly mean for our physical existence and capabilities?
The light body is described as a less dense, self-regenerating form, capable of vastly extended longevity, far beyond our current lifespan. It allows for juggling realities through conscious change, meaning you can consciously shift your perception and experience of different dimensions, and traveling beyond the speed of light, essentially moving instantly across vast distances. It's about loosening the grip of materialism on our physical form and allowing imprisoned light, which is what matter fundamentally is, to manifest more freely and fluidly. They explain that your nervous system is already being restructured from a 2-lane highway to a 12-lane system, enabling the simultaneous recall and experience of multiple events and realities. Eventually, your entire brain will operate, granting you genius abilities like telepathy, precognition, and instantaneous access to vast knowledge, because, as they so eloquently put it, the living library is within you. This transformation, they suggest, is not a distant theoretical future, but something many individuals will begin to experience within the coming years, indicating a rapid and profound shift in human biology and consciousness on this planet. #tag outro.
Wow. Reflecting on everything we've covered today, from Tara Thomas's deeply personal struggle to birth a book of cosmic wisdom, to the hidden history of Earth as a living library under cosmic management, and the profound physical transformation awaiting humanity, it truly reshapes how we might view our own place in the universe. We've explored how you, the listener, are not merely an observer in this grand drama, but a crucial messenger of the dawn, a renegade destined to remember and activate your vast inherent potential.
The Pleiadians remind us that the things that scare you are you, and that the ultimate battle between light and darkness is, at its deepest level, an internal one, a struggle for self-mastery and remembrance. They tell us with an empowering directness, you are these gods. So what does it truly mean for you to fully embrace this identity, to claim your inherent sovereignty, to become a conscious creator of your reality, and to manifest the frequency of love that will lead to a massive healing of your consciousness on many levels? The future, the Pleiadians suggest, is not some predetermined rigid path, but a canvas of infinite probabilities, waiting for your clear intention and courageous action. This is your moment to transform, to ascend, and to co-create a new Earth, radiating as a new light on the horizon of so many sentient worlds.
This deep dive, much like the book itself, is a trigger. It's designed to awaken something deep within you, to spark a remembrance. So listen closely to the silent whispers that echo through the golden spirals of the corridors of your being. The journey continues, always, and as you evolve, so too does the universe itself.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon. Until next time, take care and have a wonderful and blessed day.